Fans are shocked. The entire rap game is shaking. And nobody can believe the words that just came out of Lil Baby's mouth. After years at the top of the charts, after dominating the industry with hit after hit, after becoming the face of modern Atlanta rap, Lil Baby just said he might be done with music. For good. At first, people thought it was a joke. A publicity stunt. Maybe just stress, but then? Something happened. Something big. Something personal. Something so serious? Lil Baby told his team, "I'm tired of this. I don't even want to rap no more." And that's when the rumors exploded. Some say it's because of a betrayal inside his own camp. Others claim a secret investigation is targeting him. A few insiders even whisper he was set up by someone powerful. But the most shocking theory? A close friend confirmed Lil Baby is done. Unless the truth comes out. Why would one of the biggest rappers alive walk away at his prime? What really happened behind the scenes? And who is responsible for pushing him to the edge? Because trust me, this is not just about music anymore. This is worth something felt off. Fans didn't notice it at first. Lil Baby was still doing shows, dropping features, making appearances. But real supporters, the ones who've been with him since freestyle, they saw the shift. He wasn't smiling the same. He wasn't posting as much. He wasn't moving with that same hungry energy. It felt like the light in his eyes was gone. Interviews got shorter. Studio sessions got delayed, rumors started floating, Baby don't even want to record no more. And the craziest part? He stopped hanging around the people he built his career with. No 4 picofarads crew. No usual entourage. Even his circle looked different. Something was happening behind the scenes. But it wasn't just pressure. It wasn't just fame. It wasn't just burnout. Something, or someone, was draining the life out of him. Then came the first red flag. A fan posted a clip from one of his recent meet and greets. Lil Baby wasn't rude. He wasn't mean. He just looked tired. Not physically. Emotionally, the video went viral. Yo, Baby look like he don't even want to be there. He losing passion. Something wrong with bro? Still, nobody expected what was coming next. Then came the label drama. A trusted insider leaked, his label wants another album this year. They don't care if he's burned out. They want numbers. Lil Baby had already dropped hits, gone on world tours, carried features, fed the whole label with his success. But instead of supporting him, they pushed harder. We need another number one. We need more TikTok songs. We need you to collaborate with this pop artist. Lil Baby hated forced music. He always kept it real. He built his name on authenticity. Now they were treating him like a product. He told his manager, "This don't feel like my career anymore." But the label had power, contracts, money, control. And if he refused, they could shelve his music, freeze his masters, block his tours. He felt trapped. And just when he thought the industry pressure was enough, everything in his personal life started falling apart too. Fake friends. Snakes in his circle. People using his name for clout. And the worst part? Someone close to him, someone he trusted, betrayed him. This one hurt the most. Because it wasn't just a rumor. It wasn't just gossip. It was real. Lil Baby found out that someone had been secretly taking money in his name. Stealing. Setting up deals without telling him. Making moves behind his back. And when he confronted them, they didn't even deny it. Bro, it's business. That sentence broke him. Because to Lil Baby, loyalty was everything. He built 4 picofarads on brotherhood. He brought his people out the trenches. He fed families. And now the same people he fed were eating off him behind his back. Fans noticed he started going out less. No parties. No flashy chains. No unnecessary appearances. Even during performances, he looked distant, rapping the words, but mentally somewhere else. Something inside him was shutting down. Then came the night. The night everything changed. Lil Baby was at a private industry event, invite only, super exclusive. Labels, executives, artists, the elite. At first, things seemed normal. Drinks flowing. Cameras flashing, everyone networking and smiling like nothing was wrong. But behind the scenes? It was all fake. Lil Baby was sitting in a private lounge section, away from the chaos. Only 2 people were with him, his manager and one close friend. He was quiet for most of the night. Until his manager said something that set him off. Listen, the label wants you to do that promo deal. It'll help the next album roll out. Lil Baby didn't even look at him. I said no. His manager sighed. Baby, it's already in motion. They need you to. Lil Baby snapped his head up, ice cold. I said no. Silence. His manager hesitated. It's not that simple. They already spent money. And you know how they get when you push back. Lil Baby stood up slowly. So I don't even control my own career? His manager tried to calm him. It's not like that. Then what is it like? Baby's voice echoed through the room. I'm the one making the hits. I'm the one touring. I'm the one feeding everybody. And y'all telling me what to do? His friend leaned in. Baby, chill. People watching. Nah. He was done being silent. He stepped forward, eyes blazing. This ain't fun no more. This ain't art. This ain't me. He took a deep breath. The next words he spoke changed everything. I don't even want to rap no more. The room froze. His manager stared. What? Lil Baby's voice was low, but deadly serious. I'm tired of being used. Tired of being controlled. Tired of fake love. I'm done. His friend shook his head. You just stressed, Lil Baby cut him off. No. I mean it. I'm ready to walk away from all of this. His manager panicked. Baby, think about what you're saying. You're at your peak. You're one of the biggest rappers in the world. Lil Baby didn't care. I don't care about charts. I don't care about awards. I don't care about none of that. Then he said the line that sent shivers down their spine, I'd rather have peace than be famous. And that's when his phone buzzed. A message. One message. One sentence that made his face go completely blank. His manager watched as his expression changed from anger to shock to pain. What's wrong? He asked. Lil Baby didn't answer. He stared at the screen. Frozen, his friend walked around to look, then covered his mouth in disbelief. Oh my God. The room got tense. What happened? His manager asked again, nervous. Lil Baby slowly lowered the phone. His voice was ice cold. They crossed the line. Manager, who? Lil Baby looked him dead in the eyes. The industry. He put his phone in his pocket. Then he said it. The sentence that confirmed everything. After what I just found out. I'm done with rap. For real. And he walked out. No looking back. No explanations. No hesitation. He left the building. And the world didn't even know yet. That hip-hop's biggest star had just decided to quit. Lil Baby left that event without saying another word. No security. No entourage. No fanfare. He just walked out, alone. The city lights of Atlanta reflected off his car window as he drove in silence. No music playing. Just the sound of his own thoughts. Replaying that message over and over again. The message that changed everything. It was a screenshot. A leaked conversation. And the two names in that chat? One was someone from his own label. The other was someone he once called family. Lil Baby pulled over, gripping the steering wheel so tight his knuckles turned white. The conversation was clear as day, we gotta protect the brand. If Baby don't fall in line, we replace him. We already building the next star. Replace him. Replace Lil Baby? The man who put their label back on the map? Who brought them millions? Who turned the whole Atlanta wave global? And worse, the person agreeing in the chat was one of his closest boys. Someone who had been with him since before fame. Someone he fed. Someone he made rich. He don't even realize we already moving without him. That sentence broke him. That wasn't business. That was betrayal. Real betrayal, the kind that destroys trust forever. He sat in that car for over an hour, just staring at the city he helped define. How they gonna do me like this? He muttered under his breath. He wasn't crying, but he felt something crack inside. Everything he worked for. Everything he sacrificed. For what? For people to use him. Then plan to dump him when he stopped being convenient? No. He wasn't going out like that. The next morning, his phone wouldn't stop blowing up. Missed calls. Messages. Voicemails. But he ignored most of them. Except one. His mom. Baby, call me. I can feel something is wrong. He sighed deeply. Family always knows. He called her back. Before he could even speak, she said, talk to me. He hesitated. Ma, what if I told you I don't want to rap anymore? She went quiet. Are you serious? She asked gently. He nodded even though she couldn't see it. I'm tired of fake love. Tired of being surrounded by people who only there for what I can do for them. His voice started to shake. Ma, I don't even know who really loves me anymore. Silence. Then his mother said something simple, but powerful. Then maybe it's time to find out. He blinked. What you mean? Stop giving, stop fixing. Stop saving everybody. Stop performing for people. Just step back. The ones who still stay? Those are your people. Lil Baby closed his eyes. Maybe she was right. He whispered, I think they trying to replace me. His mom's tone changed, let them try. Can't nobody replace what God gave you. But if this industry is stealing your peace, you walk away with your soul still intact. It hit him hard. He took a deep breath. I love you, Ma. I love you more. Do what's best for you. He hung up. That conversation gave him clarity. He was done pretending. Over the next few days, he went ghost. No Instagram stories. No club appearances. Not even studio sessions. People started to notice. Why Baby so quiet? He okay? Something feels off. Even the blogs started asking questions. Is Lil Baby depressed? Label issues? Burnout? But nobody knew the truth. He was preparing to disappear. Then it happened, the first major move. Lil Baby cut off half his team. Manager? Gone. Publicist? Gone. 2 of his day ones? Blocked. Even a producer he used often? Fired. Everyone was shocked. You serious? One of them said over the phone. Lil Baby's voice was cold. You ate off me and you talked behind my back. It ain't personal, bro. It's business. Nah, Baby snapped. See, that's the problem. Y'all forget I'm a person. Click. Call ended. He wasn't arguing anymore. He was done. People started panicking. Why he cutting people off? Did he find out something? Who snitched? Even higher-ups at the label started calling, trying to do damage control. Baby, let's talk about this. We can renegotiate. We didn't mean it like that. Too late. Lil Baby didn't want apologies. He wanted out. Then the fans noticed something major. Lil Baby unfollowed everyone on Instagram. Except his kids and 2 real friends. Then he posted one story, a plain black screen with 4 words, I'm done being used. The internet lost it. What happened? Who hurt him? Somebody did Baby wrong. Twitter went insane. TikTok exploded with theories. YouTube blogs started dropping daily updates. But while the internet was trying to figure it out, inside the industry, people were scared. Because Lil Baby wasn't just any rapper. He was a power player. He had partnerships, label deals, connections, influence. If he left the rap game and exposed everything he knew, a lot of people would fall. So suddenly, everyone wanted to make peace. Executives invited him to meetings. Other rappers texted to check in. Fake friends popped up like, you good bro? Love you fam. He saw right through it. They weren't worried about him. They were worried about losing access. They were worried he'd stop feeding them. They were worried he'd start talking. But Lil Baby was chilling at home. No chains. No flashy cars. Just him, sitting on the couch. Watching the world panic. For the first time in years, he felt calm. No cameras. No fake energy. No pressure. Just silence. But even in silence, there was pain, because the one part he couldn't ignore was the betrayal from someone he loved like a brother. He kept thinking, how many people been smiling in my face while planning my downfall? And that's when his phone buzzed again. Another message. This one wasn't screenshots. It was a voice memo. A real recording. And when he pressed play, he heard 2 of the biggest names in the industry talking about him. Plotting. Scheming. Laughing. One voice said, once we control his masters, we can phase him out. The other replied, he think he untouchable. Watch this. Lil Baby froze. Those weren't strangers. They were heavy hitters. People he respected. People the world trusted. That's when everything inside him snapped. This wasn't just betrayal. This was war. He stood up, stared at the wall, and said the words that would shake the entire music industry. I'm exposing everything. But before he could even make a move, somebody beat him to it. A massive leak hit the internet. Contracts. Voice notes. Screenshots. Private deals. And guess whose name was all over it? Lil Baby. And not in a good way. The media twisted everything. The headlines started pouring in. Lil Baby involved in label corruption. Lil Baby secretly controlling artists. Exposing the dark side of 4 picofarads. They were trying to flip the narrative. They wanted to make him look like the villain. Before he could speak. They wanted to destroy his image. They wanted to silence him. Lil Baby stared at the screen as his name got dragged. And he whispered, oh? So that's how y'all want to play? His eyes turned cold. This ain't about quitting anymore. He grabbed his phone. Now I have no choice. He took a deep breath and said it out loud. I'm about to burn the whole industry down. By now the internet was a wildfire and Lil Baby was standing right in the middle of it with a can of gasoline and a damn match. The leaks had been surgical. The industry moved fast to flip the narrative, to make him look like the one with something to hide, and the blogs ran with it. But beneath the smoke and mirrors, something else was happening. People were choosing sides, quietly, urgently, and with real consequences. Lil Baby knew the rules of the game. He'd been playing it since he had a mixtape burned on a CD, hustling shows and sleeping on couches. But he had never seen the power players move like this, coordinated, clinical, trying to bury a man before he could speak. That alone was a confession. Whoever orchestrated the leaks had resources, access, and an agenda. He woke up the next day to a storm of DMs, calls, and thinly veiled threats. Some were blatant bribes: drop the receipts and we'll make it go away. Others were veiled warnings: you could lose a lot, son. But most were empty noise. The ones he listened to were from people who had nothing to gain by lying, and those voices told him one thing: expose it, but be smart. He called his lawyer. We go public in stages, the lawyer said. We can't just dump everything or they'll bury it in litigation. We leak a tape here, a contract there, always with context. We control the narrative. Lil Baby didn't need a sanitized plan. He needed truth out. He wanted the people who used him to feel the heat. He wanted the ones who smiled at his face while plotting his fall to watch the world turn its back on them. He wanted justice, street justice, industry justice, whatever name you gave it. He wanted to stop being a product. First move, he posted a short, raw video. Not polished, not produced. Just him, no chain, no backdrop, an empty kitchen. He looked older. He spoke slowly, each word full of intent. You all been watching a movie, he said. They made me the villain overnight. Facts gonna come. Real facts. I ain't here for clout or headlines. I'm here for the truth. It went viral in minutes. Fans flooded the comments with support. The ones who loved him since the first mixtape flooded his mentions with prayers and receipts of their own. The momentum flipped. For every article that tried to bury him, there were 10 reactions demanding answers. People started digging. Journalists who owed him favors found their courage. Leaks started spilling, not from him this time, but from people who'd had enough of the rot. Then the hits landed. A former A&R executive posted an anonymous thread detailing backroom deals and phantom artists created to siphon streams. A sound engineer uploaded a clip of a meeting where executives laughed about shelving difficult artists. Screenshots of contracts showing questionable royalty clauses were plastered across forums. The narrative shifted from Lil Baby exposed to industry exposed. People realized the leaks had been a deflection tactic, and the deflectors were panicking. But the industry hits back harder than you think. Media outlets with financial ties to labels started running investigations into Lil Baby's own finances, selective numbers taken out of context. Stories about money moving through shell companies, attempts to paint him as the puppeteer. Lawyers sent cease and desist letters with legalese meant to intimidate. It was textbook: drown the truth in paperwork and lawsuits, and the public forgets. Lil Baby stayed 2 steps ahead. When the lawyers threatened, he moved the battleground. He booked a live stream at midnight, something raw and unfiltered, and told his audience exactly how he had been played. He named names, careful, selective, dropping hints strong enough to cause a panic but calibrated so a court couldn't shut him down before the world heard. His following watched like a jury. The comments filled with shock and anger. Calls for accountability multiplied. That night the phones started ringing differently. Old friends who once took private flights texted apologies with "We were young" tagged on. A few celebrities called to say they knew things and would stand by him. Not everyone wanted to be on the right side of history, but enough people did. Lil Baby had built a silent army: artists who'd been cheated, producers who'd been burned, managers who had seen the same play unfold. They were tired. But power fights back. The label scheduled a press conference and, with a list of carefully chosen industry allies, said they were working to protect the integrity of the business from false allegations. They hinted at legal action, at defamation. Their PR slides were slick. The narrative pivoted again, now framed as Billy Boy trying to take down an entire label for personal reasons. The real danger was not just image, it was safety. When men with billions on the line feel cornered, they don't always play nice. Lil Baby started getting threats that weren't just emails. Cars idling outside his studio, calls from unknown numbers whispering, "Watch your back," and, most chilling, a short message on an encrypted app that simply read, "Stop or it gets worse." He felt watched. The paranoia that comes with power felt different now. It was real and grounded. He had enemies who could move news cycles, and he had a target on his back. But this wasn't about fear. It sharpened his resolve. So he doubled down. He authorized a rolling release of documents, each piece vetted, each claim corroborated by witnesses. He started naming middle managers and executives, not just the faceless chiefs. People followed the breadcrumbs and connected the dots: agreements made in smoke-filled rooms, artists promised the world. And given crumbs, streaming manipulation, and the orchestration of emerging artists to replace inconvenient ones. The industry wasn't just a business anymore, it was a machine optimized to maintain itself. Lil Baby had kicked the gears and the machine was grinding back. Then the twist nobody expected: one of his so-called day ones, the friend caught in the leaked chat who talked about replacing him, went public. Not with apologies, but with accusations. Baby was involved in the same schemes. He said in an interview, slinging wild allegations about endorsement deals and revenue splits that implied Lil Baby had been complicit. The timing was suspicious. He'd been handed a platform and a script, and sources close to him whispered he had been promised protection, money, maybe a new career pivot in exchange. Lil Baby watched that interview and almost laughed. It was predictable theater. But the damage was real. Narratives shifted in hours. Even fans who'd stood by him began to question. The press loved anything messy, it sells. That's when the stakes got personal. A small but powerful news outlet published a story claiming federal investigators were monitoring conversations related to the streaming practices and master ownership in the label's catalog. No names yet, just the ominous phrase monitoring. The implication was clear, the net was widening. Lil Baby knew one thing for sure: if federal eyes were on this, the playbook changed. This was no longer just PR warfare or social media skirmishes. This was legal battlegrounds and whistleblowers risking everything. He prepared for the worst. He vetted every document again, talked to lawyers, secured backups, and reached out to a few investigative journalists. He also told his closest circle, "I'm going all the way. If they want to take me down, I'll burn the house." Then the unexpected call came. A voice on the other end said 3 words that made his blood run cold: "We can help." Lil Baby knew that line. Power offers rarely came clean. He asked who. The voice hesitated. "Someone who wants out, as much as you do. We can make the leaks unstoppable, but you gotta play by our terms." He felt the trap forming like a web. The truth he wanted to expose had turned into currency. Someone was offering leverage, real leverage, in exchange for allegiance. It smelled like another game. Lil Baby took a breath. "Who are you?" A pause. "We're not the government. We're not the label. We're people who've lost everything. We can make sure your voice is heard, but once this goes public, there's no turning back." He looked at his phone, the lit screen reflecting in his eyes. He thought about his mom's voice, about the kids, about peace. He thought about revenge. He felt like he stood at the edge of a cliff with the world watching. "Tell me one thing," he said slowly. "If I go with you, what happens to the people I promised to protect?" Silence, then the line clicked off. The choice was in his hands. The map had been laid out. Allies, enemies, and a looming legal threat now formed a landscape where every move could end careers, or lives. He set the phone down and stared at the ceiling. Around him, the world screamed. Inside him, something colder and more certain grew. He whispered to the empty room, "If they want to play dirty, I'll play dirtier." Outside, someone tapped at his window. He froze. The knock was light, deliberate. He walked to the window, peered through the blinds, and saw a car parked across the street, its headlights off, engine idling. His phone buzzed again. A message: "Stop playing with fire." He didn't answer. He picked up a sealed envelope that had arrived earlier that day. Inside was a single Polaroid, a photo of his daughter asleep, the timestamp from that morning. The room tilted. He clenched his jaw. The war wasn't just professional anymore. It was personal. Lil Baby sat with the Polaroid in his hand like it weighed a ton. The image of his little girl, innocent, asleep, was a currency that cut deeper than any contract. Whoever sent it wanted him scared. Whoever sent it wanted him to fold. He put the photo down slowly, breathed deep, and made a decision. If they wanted to turn his life into a chess match, he'd stop playing like a pawn. First move, control the narrative. Second move, protect his family. Third move, hit where it hurts. He called his lawyer and told him to schedule a press conference for the next morning. No PR fluff, no canned statements, just him, live, answering questions. If the industry wanted to weaponize leaks and smear him first, he was going to pull the rug out from under them. Then he did something nobody expected. He went to the old neighborhood. No flashy car, no spin. He wanted clarity. He walked the streets he grew up on, visited the corner stores, sat on the stoop where he'd freestyled with kids before money changed everything. The faces there were real, no agendas. People greeted him like one of their own, and for the first time in weeks, he felt something close to peace. That night, he called a meeting with the artists he trusted, those who didn't use him, who had been through the grind and kept their integrity. A few came through: a DJ who'd played his first tapes, a producer who'd slept on his couch, and one public figure who had the power to amplify his message without taking a cut. They didn't ask for favors, they came with loyalty. "You go in public?" the producer asked bluntly. "I gotta," Baby said. "But I'm doing it smart. We don't just expose them, we show proof. Contracts, tapes, receipts. And we give it to people who'll push it forward without getting bought off." They planned the rollout like a heist. Each piece of evidence would land over a few days, no single dump that could be buried in a legal blitz. They'd seed documents to independent journalists, upload encrypted files to watchdog groups, and make sure the narrative couldn't be contained by any single outlet. That same night, he made another call, this one to an unexpected ally. A veteran journalist known for taking down corrupt institutions had been keeping tabs on label practices. She didn't want fame, she wanted truth. When he told her what he had, she didn't flinch. "We'll do it right. We'll corroborate. We'll protect you and your family as much as we can, but you gotta be ready for war." He nodded. Fear jittered at the edges, but resolve hardened his voice. "Do it." Morning came with cameras, lights, the hum of people waiting for blood or redemption. Lil Baby walked up to the podium wearing a simple hoodie, no swagger, no armor, only a man who'd been stripped of illusions and found anger where peace used to be. He didn't scream. He didn't melodramatically play the victim. He spoke measured, clinical, and cold. "I'm here because you deserve the truth," he said. "Not the stories they feed you, not the manufactured narratives. I built things with my hands. I'm not perfect, but I'm not the villain they made me to be." He went slow, naming tactics and showing small, damning pieces of proof, a screenshot here, a voice clip there, timestamps, and a ledger that tracked suspicious payments. He didn't throw every grenade at once, he gave the world enough to make people pause and ask questions. Enough to make the legal team scramble, then he dropped the line that changed the tenor of the whole day. "They tried to replace me. They planned it. They used people I trusted. Those people are still walking around like nothing happened. This isn't just about me. This is about the whole system that profits off silence." The reaction was immediate. Fans cheered. Independent outlets picked it up. Within hours, his presser had millions of views. The journalist he'd trusted published an in-depth piece that night corroborating several of his claims. The internet shifted, the label scrambled for a statement and released a terse denial, calling his allegations inaccurate and emotionally driven. Legal threats came fast. But in the public square, the dam had cracked. Then the retaliation started. At first, it was small, a tabloid running a fabricated story about an old legal dispute, DJs told not to play his music, and executives whispering to promoters to freeze performances. Then things got darker, security at his shows got extra checks, some venues canceled mid-tour citing logistics, and a few of his collaborators publicly distanced themselves. People he thought stood with him quietly stepped back, waiting to see which way the wind blew. Lil Baby felt the walls closing again. But he had anticipated some of that. They wanted to isolate him, make his voice small. So he leaned into allies who couldn't be bought, grassroots activists, artists from other scenes, and a network of independent radio hosts. They played his songs, reran his presser, and kept attention on the story. People who'd been exploited by the same system came forward with their own documents, creating a chain reaction. Then came another twist. One of the executives tied to the leaked conversations resigned. Not an admission of guilt, but a move that sent ripples through the industry. Whispers turned into headlines, resignation amid scandal. Exec steps down as investigations loom. The pressure was mounting. Even so, victory wasn't clean. Legal suits arrived. The label filed defamation claims, countersuits were threatened. A forensic audit of certain transactions was launched. Lil Baby's lawyers prepared for long battles. He knew the cost, money, time, stress. The industry's lawyers could drag this into the ground. But now the public was watching, and that visibility gave him leverage. Amid the chaos, the personal threats continued. Security found a note on his car, "You started this. Finish it." His kids were moved to a safer location for a while. He hired private security. He rarely left home without at least 2 trusted people at his side. Fear was a companion, but not his master point. One night, between conference calls and legal strategy sessions, he walked into his daughter's room and watched her sleep. He whispered to himself, "This is why I fight." The resolve wasn't about fame anymore. It was about making sure no child would see their parent used, lied to, or discarded. Months rolled by and the story metastasized. A federal inquiry quietly opened. Witnesses from inside the label began to cooperate with investigators. The industry's image took hits in ways it hadn't imagined. Some executives kept their jobs, some were reassigned, and a few faced public scrutiny that hurt their brands. Lil Baby didn't become a saint. He fought back hard, used leverage when needed, and sometimes his rhetoric got rough around the edges. But the narrative had shifted. He was no longer a footnote in a PR war. He was a catalyst for a broader reckoning. Then, in the aftermath, he made another decision, one that surprised even his inner circle. He would not quit rap because he was broken or defeated. He would step away from the machine that had tried to use him, but not from his music. He announced a hiatus, no tours, no features for a while, but made it clear he was not walking away from art. "I need to breathe," he told a live stream. "I need to be present for my kids. I need to handle this. But I ain't done with music forever. I'm just done being a product for other people's pockets." Support flooded in. The artists who aligned with him started benefit shows and solidarity playlists. The momentum that once tried to bury him rebuilt into something bigger, a movement of artists demanding autonomy and fair contracts. Young stars started speaking publicly about contract fairness. Managers held panels. Independent labels gained traction, the industry mechanism shuddered. Lil Baby watched as the system he'd helped build altered under public pressure. He'd come to the edge of quitting, but instead used the crisis to force change, protecting his family, exposing corruption, and reshaping the conversation about power in music. As for those who plotted against him, some kept their influence. Some lost it. The war left scars on everyone. At the end of the day, Lil Baby sat on that same stoop again, hoodie up, watching the city breathe. He felt tired, sure. But also lighter. He hadn't quit because he was hopeless. He'd chosen to step back to reclaim control. He whispered to the night. They tried to replace me, but they only made me louder. And in the distance, someone started a freestyle, just 2 bars. Raw and honest, and the sound floated up like a promise. Lil Baby didn't just survive the chaos. He rewrote the industry playbook. He walked into the fire, stood face to face with the most powerful people in the music game, and refused to bow. They tried to silence him. They tried to replace him. They even tried to scare him by targeting the people he loved. But in the end, they failed. Why? Because Lil Baby was never just a rapper, he was the heartbeat of a movement. He had the streets behind him, the fans behind him, and most importantly, the truth behind him. And now, even after everything, the world is asking the same question: will Lil Baby ever return to rap full-time? Some fans say yes, he just needs time to heal. Some say no, he's seen too much and won't put himself back in that system. Others believe he's building something new. A label, a blueprint, a legacy that can't be controlled by anyone but him. But one thing is clear, this story isn't over. Executives are still under investigation. Artists are still speaking out. Lawsuits are still pending. And Lil Baby? He's moving in silence? Which means he's planning something major. Will he drop a tell-all interview? Will he expose even more names? Will he return with the most powerful album of his career? Or, will he retire and redefine success on his own terms? Only time will tell. But now, it's your turn. Do you think Lil Baby should come back to rap or walk away forever? Who do you think betrayed him the worst? And what would you do if the whole industry turned against you? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Make sure you like this video, subscribe for more wild rap stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter. Because trust me, the next story is even crazier.